grab something and put it on. And I didn't realize how much leg was happening before I left the house. Whoops.
The amount of just bare ass I saw yesterday at Pride.
I have so much.
I feel like changed today. Like went into my coffee shop at the bottom of my street and I like just wanted to hug and kiss everyone still.
Oh my God. Yeah. People are just naked at Pride. By the way, hi, welcome to Future Role Model, a podcast that praises the unconventional and redefines what it means to be a role model, whether you're naked or showing too much leg like I currently am. I have in the house Becky Robinson today.
Hello.
Hello. I've been trying to get you on for so long, and
Thank you for
I
having
adore
me.
you, and I'm so happy I finally got your ass today.
Likewise, sister.
So how was Pride? Did you survive? Obviously you survived, but like
survived,
what
yes.
happened? What was your Pride?
Well, I live like kind of right up the street, and I always like to like put on a wig and go down and get into some trouble.
Yeah.
Let some antics ensue.
That's kind of your game.
Yeah. I can't stay away. I feel like if it's right there, I'm just like, I start twitching and I'm like, I can feel something's going on.
Yeah.
So I just kind of went down there and yeah, this year was great. It was really fun. Everyone seemed like they were in good spirits.
Yeah, I
mean,
went
I guess
down
they
on
always kind of do.
right.
But
I went down on Saturday, and it was tough because I know so many people that are like epic liquor reps, and so we were with the Casamigos liquor rep.
Okay.
And so she just had bottles and bottles, but I had a show that night.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great, I'm hanging out. There's all this free shit that I can't drink. Ugh.
Yeah. So did you stay sobes?
I stayed sobes.
Good for you.
I'm doing it. I'm doing that this week until I'm done filming, and then I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna get really fucked up.
Filming this?
I'm
or-
filming my special in a week.
Oh.
Or less than a week.
I didn't get married,
I
and
was
so
supposed to
here
get
we
married
are.
today. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good. Where are you filming it?
Madison, Wisconsin. I fly out tonight.
Comedy on State?
No, actually, a different venue. It's called the Brink Lounge. It's where
Nice.
Nate Craig does his show every year.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it was supposed to be my wedding venue, so
Oh my God.
doing it on the stage.
Well, you're gonna
But
look buttery bronze and gorgeous for it.
I know. I'm like
so.
gonna be shiny. I need to like mattify myself a little bit. I wish I knew. I was like yesterday. I got drunk at my friend's house, and she was trying to show me how to do makeup because I was like, I don't know how to do makeup, but I don't want to hire a makeup person because makeup people make you
can
look
be-
like not yourself.
Yeah,
I was
so
like,
if you ever grow eyebrows, it can be.
right? I was like, I'm a
terrifying.
comic. I'm not like. I don't want to look like a beauty queen in my thing I'm shooting.
Yeah.
Like, I'll look retarded.
You're just gonna go like light, you think?
Yeah, I'm just doing it myself, which means definitely that. Like,
Throw back a couple tutorials, you know.
I'll just watch some YouTube and knock it out of the park.
It'll be great.
How you been, Miss Busy Pants?
I've been good. Yeah, been traveling a lot. Yeah, just working, you know, doing a lot of
Hustling.
voiceover stuff, and yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah. So, do you have a new show coming out, right?
Well, it didn't
is
get
it-
picked up.
I didn't. Okay, I wasn't sure what the status was on that yet.
Yeah, we made 2 pilots with E, and eventually they just kind of were like, no, we're worried this is going to offend celebrities, and God forbid.
Why?
We
Why
have-
would they give a shit?
Well, it's E.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're
love
celebrities. Yeah.
So it's a little bit contradictory for, of a show for them to kind of have on their network. So
Yeah.
so done working with them for now and taking it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere that, we can hopefully like actually make this show and not water it down and not.
Well, that's the
Because it's
thing.
not offensive anyways, My
Yeah.
characters are very lovable. They're like.
Exactly. I was
They're
gonna
usually
say.
the butt of the joke, so.
Well, and that's the problem with shopping things, period, because I'm shopping some of my own stuff, and I
Yeah.
watch a lot of friends that I love. I love your characters. I love your work, period.
Thanks,
and
buddy.
I just, when I see certain things, I'm like, what is wrong with people for not just, like, putting this on... But the right person will at the right time.
The right person will at the right time, and until then, thank God we have Instagram.
Thank God.
And
what
can
would
just
we do
put
without it?
anything out we want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
what-
that's kind of where I'm at. I've been having actually been meeting so many amazing like women and talking about the show, which has been really cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
they have such unique ideas and visions for this type of stuff that I haven't really gotten from any of the men that I've worked with. So that's been really cool
Yeah.
to kind of be meeting some of those like just boss ass women that are just, I don't know, they're so cool.
That's what I'm in such that space too, and I'm not by any means like a girl power only kind
Me
of
neither.
person, but
And normally I'm like, I hate women.
right. They're so complicated, and they all hate me. I don't
They
know
talk
why.
shit about me constantly. They're all prettier. Fuck them.
But I've been really embracing that too. I mean, I feel like at least just what I've been working on lately too. I'm like a
Yeah.
lot of women come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I really like thank you for this, you know, and I'm like, cool, you know.
Yeah, it feels like this cool kind of,
I feel like there's a shift happening. I don't know what it is, but it feels good. I feel like for the most part, everybody in our scene or in the comedy community is like really supporting each other. And
I feel it too, yeah.
I don't know why that's a thing, but I'm happy it is.
I remember it not feeling this way in the first few years that I've lived here, I don't think. It may be, I don't know. But now it really feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the case when I first moved here too. I felt like, well, I mean, when you're a young comic too, me and Craig were just talking about that, but you're like more on the defense of everything. And so you're like, who doesn't like me? Or what do you, you know, it's more like a fidgety kind of.
You constantly think everyone's thinking about you because you're like new and you're like, what do they think of my shirt when I'm on stage?
Right. And like nobody gives a shit. They're all just trying to do their own shit. Yeah. How long have you been in LA now?
7 years.
7 years.
What about you?
I'm at 8.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember when I first met you, it was through Doug Fager.
Oh.
Doug, he mostly just does the roast battles now.
Yeah.
But he and I used to run a show together at Busby's.
Yes.
So you came and did the show, and I hadn't met you before. You had just.
That's where we met.
I think we met before that, but that was the
thought
first
we
time
met
I
probably
like.
somewhere at the Comedy Store.
That was the first time that I like talked to you and like maybe hung with you a little bit, and I was like, this bitch is crazy, like in a good way though. But like you just came on stage and you were just like kicking something. I don't even know what you were doing, but I was like, oh my God. Becky Robinson is going to be a thing.
Oh, God.
No, it's just funny. It's funny how you can feel certain people's energy and you're like,
totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get it. Whatever happens here, I get it.
It's nice. I remember feeling the same way when I met you. I was like, oh, I love this person. Love.
And I like that. I like when people are busy. I've been giving Nicole Amy, I've been giving her so much shit because I'm like, I've been trying to get her on for a couple months and she's always like, I can't this day, I can't that day. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not going to ask you anymore. But I'm really happy that you're so busy. So congratulations, but also stop.
I was also like, I lose my voice really easily because I do scream a lot on stage. And like, and just I guess in life, or if I'm like around good friends, I always lose my voice because I'm just so happy and like screaming and laughing, and it's become an issue with like the amount of like voiceover stuff I've been doing. I'm constantly terrified that it's.
Oh my God! Do you have remedies?
Yeah, but none of them. I have tried everything. I have all these, Toluca like mailbox, whatever that place is, like where all the VO people go, and it's like it's a mailbox store basically that like this guy comes out and he has all these crazy remedies, and I use them all, but then I'm also like, wow, Fireball works too.
Yeah. Whenever
that's so bad, but like
whenever I'm losing my voice, whiskey always helps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could do all this tea and steam my face all fucking day, but when it comes down to it, just got to drink, baby.
Yeah, I pound like chunks of honey, just like God. I went to the dentist the other day. They were like, "You have 4 cavities. Do you have any idea why?" I'm like, I have an idea.
I'm just eating honeycomb, just raw.
Yes.
What have you been up to the last 6 months? Talk about a little bit, because I follow everything you're up to. I try to, but where have you been touring? What's kind of some stuff you've been excited about lately?
Well, the main thing I've been really excited about is just this character stuff. I've been like really in the trenches with it, and we finished like a couple months ago. So that was kind of like I was doing it full time. Like we had a writer's room, and we were, working on that nonstop and kind of like going to these different events and doing some prank stuff with celebrities, and it was just so fun to like get to really dive deep into like the character world and like find what's funny and what's working with these things and trying to like prank certain celebrities and stuff, and then now just kind of pivoting and still just kind of working on it and working on shooting my own stuff because it's summer, there's events happening all the time, and it's just like I just feel like as a girl too, we can get away with anything. So.
Yeah, exactly, and you can apologize for it later. Yeah, if you need to. If you have to.
Yeah, but it's surprising. Like it's really hard to piss people off.
It
like,
really is.
I always go out and I'm like scared that people are gonna get mad if I'm in their face or something with a microphone. But they're pretty. I don't know. So I've been doing that a lot. I've been traveling to East Coast, Midwest. Love the good old Midwest.
Yeah.
I was in Miami for a week. I was there for 5 days to do one 30-minute set. It was like such an odd gig. But they were like, you fly in this day, you leave that day. Is in Miami. It was this like convention at the SLS, and they
nice.
booked out the whole hotel. I hadn't really been to Miami. I feel like you go to Miami often.
I've never been to Miami. I just fly through
you drive there.
I fly through
it's your goddamn
it's
figure.
my hub.
You frequent the Miami airport often.
I'm just caught. I'm a reg. I'm an East Coast Miami airport reg.
Just throwing back Cuban sandwiches every time you get a chance.
Dude, I did the last time. It was delightful.
They're so good. Tough to make a bad one.
I know, right?
It's got the right things in it.
Wet with cheese and meat. Like you can't really
Pickles.
fuck that up too bad.
Yeah, it's the main things I love.
Yeah. So that's a fun gig though. 5 days in Miami.
It was really fun. I mostly, I just laid out a lot and like tried to get some work done and just for this all for one 30-minute set.
That's
It
crazy.
was basically over like a cage on top of a pool, and I was performing for like.
Oh my God! Did you do characters in that?
No.
I was wondering how that would work.
But there was a pool separating me and the audience, which was interesting.
Because the distance.
Yes.
Yeah, that can be really weird.
Yeah. I eventually just started doing crowd work and then tried to get as many people in the pool as I could, and a couple got in.
Oh, that's cool.
One took her top off. There's always like a 45-year-old lady who just can't wait to take her top.
Always. I wrestled one of them in the Caribbean
my
many,
God.
many years ago. She was just.
That's insane.
I know.
For what?
Oh my God! The story actually just came. I taped this like months ago. Rachel O'Brien and Christine Blackburn's new podcast, Screwed Up Stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I told this whole story. But I was stuck in the Caribbean with my ex-boyfriend. I didn't know that he was homeless, and
Oh my God.
and this was like
Your
9 years
ex-boyfriend
ago.
was homeless?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know he still lived in the Caribbean. I thought he just had a place. But every time I came into to visit him, he would stay at my hotel. And so I was like, eventually I figured it out. But my last trip there, I was running out of money and I had 2 days left because I was paying for everything, which I was not prepared for. And there was a sign up for oil wrestling. It was olive oil wrestling. Oh. And it was a $150 cash prize, and I was like, I have to do this. I have to do this, and I have to win this because I need money.
Oh my God.
And so I wrestled like a 40-something-year-old woman, and she was taking her top off to try to get the crowd, but because she was distracting, I won.
Of course.
I beat her 3
Just
rounds.
Go in for it, yeah.
Yep.
Beat her 3 rounds.
Then,
Covered in oil.
yep. And
So the tits weren't distracting for you.
not for me. I don't think anyone really cared. They weren't great.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They were a little rusty, and that's okay.
Ooh,
but
rusty titties.
You just
never
don't have
could.
to show people. She was hot. If she had just kept everything covered, I think she would have been fine.
Yeah, would
but
have got the crowd going a little more.
anyway, yeah.
Gotta give them something to look forward to, you know, maybe
Exactly.
a slight nip slip, not just like take the whole thing
Yeah,
off. and
I
give
could have
'em
done. She could have just slipped me like $10, and I would have taken her top off on accident, and it would have been like more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a girl at the Abbey yesterday that was like she looked at me across the bar and like wanted us both to lift our shirts up.
Yeah.
And I like did really quick just because I was like, wait, whatever. And then she lifted her top up and she had like the most insane tits, and like 10 people stopped and they were like, holy fuck.
Oh my
She
God.
just had like the perfect and they were also pierced, which normally sometimes can be scary to look at, but they were just so perfect. They just sat up. I think it's still on my Instagram story.
Oh my God.
I was
I
like,
hope.
damn it, I shouldn't have lifted
I
mine
would
up.
have loved to say. I love the Abbey. That is a black hole of awesome.
It is.
I can only let myself go there like once a year because I
Yeah.
just won't. The last time I went there was a drunk shopping episode I had last Christmas
God.
with a bunch of my gay friends, and we went and spent
Shopped
a day
and
at
then
the
went to the
Abbey.
Abbey?
We spent a day at the Abbey getting drunk, then we shopped at the
Oh, dear
Grove,
God.
and then
Oh,
we came
Lord.
back.
To the Abbey.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that was the last time I went to the Abbey because I bought a lot of things I couldn't afford that day.
Oh no. Yeah, that's a journey of a day.
Exactly. So touring, I want to ask you about this because I
Yeah.
do a lot of my own touring stuff, and
Yeah.
like when you're headlining, how do you work about incorporating your characters into, like, what's that process like for you, and how's it?
It depends on the venue a little bit, and it depends on kind of just how I'm feeling that day or that night on what I want to work on, or if I'm taping it too. I'll do it different every time, depending on kind of like the tech requirements.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just do regular hours myself, and then other times I'll do like lights up, light down, and I'll change really quick.
Yeah.
With like a music cue for that character, and then they'll know like, okay, here comes,
This
Alan
character.
Gingrich or whatever.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll have the feature or the host say, before Becky comes, we have a surprise like celebrity drop-in, and I'll come out as like the yodel boy or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll do like 10, 15 minutes as him, and then I'll like at Zany's, they didn't really have lights up, lights down or anything like that, so I would just change on stage and like riff with the crowd while I was doing it. Like, oh, this is fucking weird. I feel like I just had a one-night stand.
Yeah.
Or something stupid while I'm changing, trying to like make jokes that always backfire in my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, I mean, I ideally, when I've done like self-produced theaters, if I go home to Portland, I usually will try to do like
A whole production of it.
yes, and I'll have like video elements and music and some like interactive bits with the crowd to break it up so it flows a bit more and it's not just like all over the place, kind of changing on stage. Sometimes I like keeping it loose like that because it's just like
it's more real.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. So I don't love being like completely like fine-tuned. Sometimes I really feel like I don't know, I like to keep things a bit messy. For some reason.
That's something me and Craig were talking about too just now, which is funny because me being in preparation mode for shooting something that I'm shooting,
Yes.
you know, me and Rachel did our tour in Europe, and so we were both co-headliners.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was able to work out like 45 minutes to an hour every night in front of these audiences that half of them don't even speak English
Yeah.
as their first language. And, you know, it was interesting, like finessing some of this stuff, but I love the ad-libbing and having to roll with it on stage in situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
And with this, because it's happening at my wedding venue and my like entire wedding party and my parents and like my teachers from high school and everybody I went to high school with like is going to be there.
Yeah.
There are so many things I can't prep for.
Right.
And there's part of that, some people have like, everybody's got their opinions on how a special should be shot, of course. And so that some people are like, well, you really need to like finesse this and make sure it's like, and I was like, no, it's not going to be like that.
Is this your first special?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, it's gotta feel a little bit more organic in the beginning. Of course, when I'm doing my material, that's just my material. But
Yeah.
like in the space, I have to embrace the space for what it is and
Of
like,
course.
let it be.
Are you going to shoot it twice or once?
Only once.
Only once, you ballsy bitch.
Right?
All right.
Yeah, it's all I can do. I can't really redo that, you
It's
know?
going to be great. And you know, you've seen specials, you've seen what you like, what you don't like. You're going in, you're going to be comfortable in your home setting, and it's going to be exactly what you wanted to. And then on your second or third, you're going to keep doing this for
Exactly.
a long time. And so if there's things you want to do in your second special where you're like, I want to keep that even messier, or I want to finesse this more, and maybe they should have been dressed as bridesmaids.
Right,
Are
yeah.
they dressing up like wedding party? Okay.
No, I mean, I'm telling everybody in the audience to dress like they're going to my wedding because that's
so
you know
fun.
what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But
Is there a flower girl?
no, there's no flower girl.
You should forget a joke and have a flower girl come deliver it.
There's so many things I wish I had time to do just because,
Right.
but it's cool. It's going to be shot like we hired a really amazing crew to shoot it like a wedding video.
Amazing.
So it's going to be shot like one long wedding video that there's accidentally a
Dude.
comedy special in the middle of.
So cool and so unique. And just like, what a great idea.
You know, it was just like I can either eat 10K of an empty venue that nobody's going to be using, or I can reconfigure this. And that is what I did.
So this is all real.
Uh-huh.
Because I feel like, have I met this guy?
Justin?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you've met him a couple times.
Are you guys?
We're still together.
Okay.
We're still living together.
Okay, cool.
We're just not ready to get married yet. We've had a really rocky engagement.
Okay.
And it's nothing I shy away from talking about because it's like, whatever. It's
Good for
life.
you.
It's
know,
life.
there's too many people. I mean, everybody is just like, well, let's still do it.
Right. A lot of people do that, and then it turns up fucked up. And so it's like you may as well just wait until, with the way that we have to work as like comics or as creators or just in life is like
Yeah.
you can't rush a lot of processes. So you just have to ride the wave.
You have to ride the wave.
Gotta ride the wave. And what about you? You've shot specials, right?
No, I've done like mini things. Like I did a 12-minute thing on MTV that was
Yeah.
stand up and sketch. And then I did like a little mini special on Wild and Out.
Yeah, so shorter ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I haven't shot a full one.
I feel like it would be so cool. Like, do you see yourself doing half and half, stand up and characters?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be like 5 characters that have like 7-ish minutes each, and then I'll be doing regular stand-up.
Are they going to open for you?
I think they're going to be intermixed.
It'd be
And I
interesting.
think I might shoot it at different places, too,
Yeah.
depending
just
on
string
how
it
that character
together.
fits in or doesn't fit in within that, like, city.
Right.
I don't know. It's something I love about that. And then I loved it. Loved, I mean, Sandler's was, like, so high-level produced, but, like,
Oh, it was so cool.
so good. I
So
just
good.
loved seeing the different venues, and I don't know. I think there's something so fun about, like, popping around, even in LA, to different clubs, and, like, just, you know, from Santa Monica versus Hollywood, and, like, throwing on a different wig in the car really quick. And so, yeah, I think it'll have some media and some.
And it'll move a little bit. I feel like that's what's so cool about specials now, is that there's not that need to have to do like a linear thing.
Yeah.
Like it can be chopped up and edited into something cool. Like,
Yeah.
did you see Drew Michaels?
Yeah.
On HBO.
Very
just
different.
an interesting take.
Very, yeah.
But I love that these are options that people have now.
Yeah.
You
can
know,
do whatever.
So yeah, but more on that later. So how? Because I think this is I find this very fascinating how people. Because I only know you, and then Whitney Rice used to do characters on doing stand up.
I love Whitney.
I know I haven't seen her in way too long.
Same.
But there's not a lot of people that do characters in their stand-up. So when you're taking a character and allowing them to create material or creating material as this character, like what's that process like?
The process of actually writing the material.
As these people, yeah.
I'll usually get into the character and go out in the world, spend some time in the world as the character to like find it and see how they interact
Yeah.
with people. For a long time, kind of like workshopping and even with friends and stuff too, or like going to bars as the character or, you know, whatever. And then I'll just sit down and I'll just try to write in that character's voice. And then I'll like get it into shorter bullets and then just go try like a 10-minute set or whatever
Yeah.
as the character.
I love it. I just find it really cool. I think it's like a fun and different way to approach stand-up, and it's like a less rules,
And
more fun.
Sometimes I feel like I can say things that I don't know if I am quite ballsy enough to say.
Under the guise of a character.
That like intensely.
Yeah.
Like with my ski character, I sometimes I'll do a mix of like her own Susie Chapstick is what her name is. Or I'll do like
She's fucking bizarre, man. I love her.
makes no sense. I did her the other night at the Improv. It was Saturday night. I've never sweat. Well, and then I did it Thursday night too at LC. And I had 3 people DM me say, "I have your sweat landed on me," like in the crowd, and they're like, "But I love." Like, I'm so sorry, but like that outfit during the summer is gonna be hell.
Oh, fuck.
The one-piece ski suit, man, fuck. And it's a thick-ass wig, but Susie is the only character that, I'm gonna try this with a couple others too, but I'll do some of my real material, like my Becky material as her. Like, so it crosses over a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And I just, you know, she has an accent and everything, and I'll say it like more intensely. And it's really weird the way my jokes are when I do it as myself versus her. Like different things, it's like applause
things
breaks
get a
in weird
different laugh.
areas.
Yeah, that's really
And
interesting.
jokes that are normally like, I don't know why, but when I say them as her, like people are like, yeah, fuck yeah, it's so odd. And I don't. So
That's so interesting.
it's weird, yeah. And I'm like, should I never do stand up again as myself? But
You
then
should like take her on a tour of just ski resorts.
it'd be so fun.
Do you know how much
dude.
you could crush that?
Oh, I did that. I did her at the Aspen Comedy Festival this
Yeah.
year, and it was like the best time of my
Just
life.
fucking hit up like 10 ski resorts and take her on the
That
road,
would
man.
be- yeah, there was a while ago when I told my agent, I was like, I want to do a high altitude tour, and they were like, all right, whatever, like, eat dicks.
Yep.
But that's definitely something I want to do in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe this winter.
So I want to backtrack a little bit because I feel like young Becky is a really cool character in herself. Because you've posted some things that I've caught over the last couple months, but it was like videos of you saying you wanted to be like, what was that thing you posted that you were like a kid and you were like, I want to be a gymnast, and then I want to be a comedian, and then I want to be a comedic actress, and then I want to like take a break or like whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you said.
I never remembered that I wanted to be a comedian when I was
So
little.
funny.
Yeah, my parents found that video and they sent it to me. We were dying. It was First, I'm going to be like a level 10 gymnast. And then I want to be a comedian and an actress while I'm a comedian. And then I think, and then when I get old, like 30, I'll do hair.
Yeah, it was something like that. And I was just like, this is too funny. It's too real. I think I had like bus driver.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I
want to be managing the bus.
Yeah, I
driving the big wheel.
Had no fucking idea that comedy was a job.
Yeah. Me either. My parents never would like instill that in me too. So, like, even until like halfway, even after when I was doing it, they were like, it's not a job.
Yeah. Were you just always like pretty on when you were little though?
Yeah.
I could picture you being just like one of those kids that's always entertaining everybody.
Yeah, I tried. And I was an accident, and I like found out I was an accident really young, and I think I was always trying to like prove that I should be there. Because I like wasn't ever sure if my parents like were happy that they had me or like wanted to keep me.
Yeah.
Because they told me when I was really young, like they laugh about it. Like we're a very open family, but my dad like walked out on my mom when she told him she was pregnant with a third kid. He came back when the appetizers came, but that's like the story they told us. It was like,
my
Jesus,
God.
don't tell me that.
Right. And you have
An older brother and sister.
brother and sister.
My sister is. I think if it weren't for her, I don't know if I would even have a sense of humor. My dad too, but she was like really shy but really funny, and she would always just kind of like say funny things
Like the
and
under
then
the breath kind of stuff.
yes, and then I would say them out loud because I loved attention, and I started in gymnastics really young, so it was always kind of like performing and like doing floor routines, and then like bringing that home and being like, we're doing a play in the yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and my next door neighbor. So it was all I ever cared about was like trying to make people laugh, and like especially the older kids. That was like everything to me.
Yeah, that was my thing too. In a different regard though, like and it's actually going to be pretty great, which thank God this episode comes out the week after because this is going to be nobody knows that this is happening, but after I get off stage at my special, I'm trailing into the next room where the reception's going to be, and the camera's going to follow me in there, and it's going to cut to like later in the reception, and I'm going to roast everybody at the reception.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because everybody,
Love that.
I know the whole guest list already, and it's like everybody I used to party with when I was in high school. But like in yards and barns and stuff. It wasn't like in house parties. It was in Wisconsin.
Yards and barns.
So I used to write these thought books, and that's what I would entertain the older kids with, and that's how I would get invited to their parties. Some of these older kids are going to be there. So I have all these stories in the thought books about them. So I'm like, I'm just going to read shit that they were up to in high school, and they have no idea I'm going to do this. And I can't wait.
And is that all going to go into it,
yeah.
too? Dude, that's so rad.
So it's
They're not going to see it coming.
No.
Like, who would expect you'd shoot a special and then be like, oh, but there's more. Sit down, fuckers.
Yeah. So it'll be really interesting. I'm definitely going to
That's amazing.
Embarrass some people.
Yeah.
In a good way.
How far it's always so funny, like, 'cause sometimes people are really open to being roasted by women, and then sometimes they're like, fuck you right away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, your friends and family are going to be great, but like, just things I've noticed, like traveling and just from show to show, like, sometimes they're so open to it and they love it, and they're like, wow, this never happens. I never get roasted by a woman. And then other times, like, they'll get salty right away.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And in this situation, it'll be okay because I know all these people really well. Yeah. And so it's all going to be from a fun place, and it's going to circle back to like me and my bullshit. So it's not going to just be like, fuck you,
Yeah. Fuck you, sorry, I'm fat. I'm so gross. One for one every time. Sprinkle in a little self-deprecation.
Right? Just fucking. That's so funny. I'm fat.
I hate myself.
I'm going to use that.
Please do.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that's what's interesting though, is it's harder to do it with strangers. I think that's why the roast battle is like what it is, because it's somebody that you know enough about where you can actually like feel that energy.
Yes.
Because I feel like roasting somebody, like, well, I mean, in Comedy Central, obviously, they're probably not friends with most of the people they're roasting. Yeah. And that can come across pretty fucking like, whoa. Yeah. But that's what's so fun about that. Yeah. But it's a celebrity, so it's like everyone's already made. It's different. But yeah. I don't know. As a woman, I feel like in St. Croix, I just roasted somebody at one of the house parties, and they did get pretty salty about it, but really? Their friends fucking loved it. Yeah. So it was like at the detriment of this person, it was worth
That's
It was
worth
it.
Yeah. Won the room, sacrificed
sorry.
one.
We fucked. Yeah, it was like just the lamb on the altar for for that night.
Yeah. You
Have-
got to do it.
What have you experienced as far as like traveling? Have you had any interesting feedback or any weird crowd interactions? I'm sure you've had plenty with the characters at least.
Quite a few. Yes. I mean, nothing that stands out too much. I feel like it's always a wild ride. It's been really, really interesting going city to city and kind of like figuring out what your favorite cities are and like where you feel the best and meeting different people that respond to your material differently just by the little sound bites they say when they come up to you after. Like, and I did Madison, Wisconsin for the first time.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you do Comedy on State?
Yeah.
It's such a good club.
So fun.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, and all these girls came up and they were just like, "You're fucking perfect. We're alcoholics." Like, I think I was there on like a Tuesday night, and they were it was so funny. They were like, "All we do is eat cheese and drink beer." And like, it was just like this huge group of girls. It was just like, "Oh, I love you guys." They just seemed so, I don't know, so fun and like open. And I love everywhere within like Ohio and Illinois and Chicago's the best. You go to Chicago a lot too, right?
Yeah. The Midwest is just fun. Like people just are so fun there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents were from the Midwest too, so I think I see a lot of like their types, which is fun too.
Yeah. Where are they from?
Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
What got them out to Portland?
My dad's work. Yeah.
What was growing up in Portland like? Is it the Portland we think of it today, or is it like, was it like that when you were young?
Well, I grew up like 10, 15 minutes outside of the city, so I really feel like I grew up like kind of in the woods. Like, my childhood was all like rummaging through the forest and like, playing like army or whatever, or like water balloon fights, and then just like intense sports. Like, I really feel like I had a career as a child because of the gymnastics. It was like very intense, very
You're still
young.
so good at it too, though. I mean, you can. Well, I can't do a fucking backflip. Like you just pop those out whenever you want.
Oh, so terrifying, dude.
Oh, I'm sure. God, when you guys were shooting live for the dance show, funny dance show, you like almost landed on a speaker or something.
Was this the pilot or the actual show?
I don't remember if it was the pilot or the actual show. I was at both.
Okay.
But you flipped and I was like, fuck, Becky's gonna die.
Dude, yeah. I like, there's so many times I'm like, here's what I want to do for this. And then I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I do this to myself? And the pilot, I had Chappelle Lacey, ex-cheerleader, 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like, Chappelle barely had to lift his hands, and I could have done a double back. And then when we went to tape the actual show, I was with a professional backup dancer guy who was also tiny and wearing heels because he's dressed as a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You got to push off my hands. Like, you got to meet me halfway." And I'm like, "God damn it, where's Chappelle?" Like, he's the most amazing dancer. But I was like, I'm going to land on my fucking head, dude. I like barely made the rotation around.
Oh my God. What would you have done if that?
I don't know. It would have been rough.
That would have
anything
been so
for
rough.
the stage, you know?
Right? Yeah. The sacrifices you make.
Seriously.
Out of all the places that you performed in, as of recent, what would you say are some of your favorite cities that like surprised you?
Ooh, Des Moines.
Really?
For sure.
Interesting.
Love Des Moines. And there was like a city name that I always used as like a joke just because I love the way it sounds. But the Des Moines Funny Bone was such a good time. I was there in the winter. Zanies has just always been like, I love.
Yeah.
Yeah, love them. Bert is just like the best guy. And Steven, his son, I'm sure you know too. Portland always surprises me too. I know it's like where I'm from, but those crowds are just so great.
Do you have a good local fan base in Portland?
Yeah, they're super supportive. And it's just nice. My sister's there, and she's the reason I started doing stand-up. Like, I was about to turn 21, and I was in college in San Diego, and I had been kind of talking about trying it for a while, and she flew down for my birthday and, like, forced me to try an open mic at the Comedy Store.
Nice.
And I don't know if I ever would have done it. Like, she's the reason I have a sense of humor and the person who forced me to try it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so when I go home, she's always just like, she's just so amazing and like helps me fine tune the stuff. And like, she came to Montreal with me this summer for Laughs. And
Yeah, I think I met her on the street with you.
Yeah, yes, you did. Yeah. Yep.
Are you going again this year?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, are you going?
I don't think so either.
No.
Yeah, it just seems like too much right now.
Yeah.
Like it was so fun, but I'm like But
was
yeah,
the best time. Oh man.
Yeah.
I love that
it
so
really
much.
is a fun festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, Des Moines is one place I haven't played. I've played like everywhere else in the Midwest. I was surprised by Indianapolis. I really liked Indianapolis.
Yeah.
What about surprised in a bad way? Any place that you didn't love that you
Ooh.
thought you would love?
Ooh. Damn. Not really anything that comes to mind.
I think
Yeah.
I've only had one city that I didn't really love, and it was Decatur, Illinois.
What happened there?
Just Bible Belt. It's in the
Oh,
Bible Belt.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I was like, this is just not my people. Not my people. I don't have a reason to come back here.
Yep.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've never really experienced that either. Most places I go, I'm like, there's something to really love about this.
That's
whatever it
That's
is.
Exactly. Like there's something I take out of it that's positive.
Exactly. So when young Becky was in high school, were you doing gymnastics all through high school? Were you pretty much like a star student, or what was your situation?
I quit gymnastics when I was 13, when my pecs had fully developed and I had no friends. And it was like everyone around me was just like getting seriously injured, and it was just like it just got scary. And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go to the Olympics. Like I'm getting a little too tall, and I was never really flexible either. So I always had to like overcompensate with like strength, and it was just kind of like, all right, it's time to like maybe try some regular sports.
Yeah.
that, like the other kids are doing at school. So I left, and then kind of just like was always trying to like fill that void of like doing something as extreme, and kind of like went straight from like that to platform diving to like,
Oh my
just-
God, for real?
yeah.
That's like the last sport I would have guessed that you did.
It was hell. I was immediately like, this was wrong. Like this stress was already killing me in gymnastics, and I was like wanted to do something fun, and it was like, no, this was the wrong. I was, like,
Diving, yeah.
I'd just gotten my first like bush, so it was like the swimsuit was an issue, and like
Oh yeah, the Speedo ones. I remember those. They didn't fit anybody well.
no,
And they didn't make boobs that were coming in look good.
Never,
You
yeah.
just looked like a boy.
Yep, and
With
especially
pubes,
for
yeah.
sure, yeah. The guys looked more feminine than I did. It
Oh
was
yeah.
hell.
Oh, I know those all too well. I was in swimming and I was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
You have an amazing body, though. I mean, god damn it.
Ah,
Every time I see a picture, I'm like, fuck. How does she do it?
Muay
But-
Thai.
Yeah, Muay Thai, yeah. But from gymnastics, that was always some sort of like performance based kind of something. Went from that to like competing in snowboarding and stuff like that. And then in high school, I was an okay student. I was in like most advanced classes, but I was always like more into like
Extracurricular
extracurricular
activities.
I was the spirit officer in leadership.
What? So did you like run the mascots?
I would
Like Tiffany Haddish was a mascot. I feel like that's kind of like a cool story.
that is rad. I did not know that. I was like a sort of I was like a mascot without the costume, basically. So I would I tried. The dance team was like the coolest thing you could do at our high school, and I like didn't make the good team. And we had our
Oh,
cheerleaders.
you were the B team?
Well, yes, I made it on the B team, but I would have been in like the back corner.
Right.
And the cheerleading squad at my high school was like an embarrassment. Like if you were a cheerleader, it was
Same
like
with mine.
bad news
Yeah,
bears.
it was bad.
And the coaches or someone was like, you can be in the back of like 100 dancers, or you can be in the front of the cheerleaders. What do you want to do? And I was like, all right, I'll be a cheerleader. So I did it. And so I would like run the assemblies basically like in my cheer uniform and like pom-poms and like get everybody like,
Hyped up.
yeah.
You
it's
were the
basically
hype
like
man.
high school crowd warm
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then just kind of like went into other sports, and then kind of like halfway, once I really started snowboarding, I started kind of like filming everything, and I would go
Like
snowboarding.
GoPro and all that stuff, or what?
Yeah, and I had a little handheld thing. I just was always interested in like making little movies or like little, little shorts or
Yeah.
little like comedic action. I was obsessed with like Fuel TV. Like,
Oh, sure.
Danny Cass was like a professional snowboarder from Oregon, and they had the show Danny and the Dingo, and it followed them as they like traveled to professional snowboarding events, and they were just like, Dingo was like a DJ and like an MC, and I just like everything they did, I was like, I want to do that. That's so cool. And so like I was just kind of that. It was a mix of like action sports and then being like, okay, I want to do something with entertainment and like
Yeah.
performance, and I wasn't quite sure what it was gonna be, but then when it came time to like find a college, it was like I just wanted to get as close to LA as I could, and like
Yeah. So you knew
find
at that
that.
age you wanted to get down here.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So in high school, like as far as you as a kid, were you straight laced? Did you get into trouble? What was your?
Definitely got into some trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that.
My sister was also like a very bad influence on her. Well, she's
a good and a bad influence.
Yeah,
which those are the best kind of people in your life.
Totally. She was everything. She had like all the coolest friends, and I was kind of like, nah. I mean, I was like, all right, but not like, I got made fun of a lot. I had like.
For what?
Just like being ugly and like having a weird square body and like really yellow teeth and hair. I had these braces that were like on the bottom of my teeth because we tried this like experimental orthodontist.
Oh, fuck.
Like my grandpa, every time I would come home and smile, he thought I had bugs in my teeth.
Oh no.
So I
they do these things to kids that are so unfair.
I know. Dude,
Why?
I know. I don't.
Why?
But I had this very weird mix of like being overly confident because of the gymnastics and like the sports capabilities.
Right.
While also like getting heavily fucked with at school. And so I was like very confused. And my sister was like, I mean, not slutty, but just like was very
fun,
like
quote-unquote
pushing the sexual limits, like AIM, like sexting, you know, and stuff. And
Yeah,
I
that was fun.
I saw her doing that, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a little slut too. Like sneaking out and just like desperately, you know, trying to find a guy to like finger you.
Yep. Which at that point was probably pretty easy.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. Not really. Just like making out was like everything, or like finding a guy to kiss, you know, and like playing Avril Lavigne on repeat. And I got in a decent amount of trouble. My sister got in a lot more than I did, but like she started skipping class in high school to go tanning. And
what a badass.
Dude, yeah. She would come home like black, and my parents would be like, got a call from the school today, Sarah. She's like, what do you mean? She's like, bright orange. But so I was like, oh, I'm going to skip class too. So in 7th grade, me and my friend went and had a meeting with like some of the bad kids. We were like, how do we do this? And they were like, just go, I guess. Like,
oh my God, that's
you
like
guys
a scene out of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, teach us your ways.
We went and sat down with this kid named Edwin at lunch, and he was like, I don't know, just fucking go. So
Edwin was the bad kid? Gotta love that. You can't write that shit.
Edwin was bad. Edwin and his friends were bad. So we skipped our like last class. It was like Spanish or something to go get Slurpees from 7-Eleven. And we were walking back, and our DARE officer happened to drive by and see that me and my friend was a middle school cheerleader, and she was in her uniform. So he like pulled us over, drove us home or back to the school. And my mom was like out of town that week. So my dad was like, his job for the week was to like pick us up from school, and like, I didn't really get in trouble much around that time, and he like came to pick me up, and I was like bawling, and I was like, Dad, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to fuck up. And he was like, geez, he like thought I killed someone, like because I was being so dramatic. And then once I told him it was just because I was skipping class, he like kind of didn't really care. He was like,
saw you were
Jesus,
so
thank
upset.
God, yeah. I thought you like straight up murdered someone. But yeah, I mean, little things, just a lot of like sneaking out, and I always managed to get away from the cops. I didn't get any DUIs or like MIPs or anything like that.
Oh, you're
but
lucky. I got
jumped a lot of
couple of
fences. Oh, really? You just
yeah,
got
underage
MIPs?
drinking.
Oh,
Yeah,
in high school or college?
both.
Damn.
I had like 4, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I
Wrong
got
place,
I
wrong
got
time?
away way more, but there was
Doesn't sound like it.
got away way more than I got caught. But one of them, my mom actually just reminded me of this the other day, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, the main officer that would always catch me at one party in particular, after I'd already got like 2 underage drinking tickets,
Mm-hmm.
he came and I hadn't started drinking yet, so I blew nothing. And so he actually called and left a message on my family's voice on their mailbox saying Natasha
So
was at a
intimate.
party, and this time she wasn't drunk, so congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
My mom was like, it was the weirdest phone call we ever came home to.
How odd.
I know, isn't that weird?
Were your parents like, were they okay with drinking or not really?
No, but they also were like, you know, I think parents know if they have a child that can't be tamed, and they have to like look at it like, how bad is this going to get?
Yeah.
Are they tolerable, and are they a good kid overall?
Yeah.
And then I think they kind of let it fall to the wayside. I think if it was all sorts of bad shit on top of each other, and I was like stealing from people, then it would have been a whole nother thing. But like, you know, there's just which we did. We did
Take a shot, I steal
did steal-
jewelry.
One of my friends who's going to be at my special, this is so funny. I used to drive a van,
Yeah.
and we would pull up at night to people's garages that were open, and I would just slide the van door open, and she would get out and walk into the garage, and generally in the Midwest, if a garage was open and there was a fridge in it, there was beer in that fridge.
Of course, yeah.
The garage fridge is the beer fridge. And so
Okay, so you weren't like stealing personal belongings.
no, we would just steal people's beer. It was easier than trying to find somebody to buy it for us.
Yeah, the shoulder tapping was always hectic, man.
We would get like 3 cases a night. We would like, my van would just be rocking with beer. Usually Miller High Life. We were like,
Of course.
we were killing it.
My van was rocking with beer. If you have a van in high school, you're really cool, I feel like. We had a guy named Justin that had a van, and it was like, you couldn't be cooler.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like so bad and
Yeah.
so ugly that it becomes cool.
Yeah.
Like you have to make it cool, otherwise you just have a van, you know? So you have to like make it into something. My leg is just falling out of my dress. So did you, when you got to college, did anything crazy happen there? Or were you starting to figure out that you wanted to be a performer by that point?
It was definitely starting, yeah. I didn't know anybody when I went away to college, and I feel like
And it was San Diego, right?
yeah,
Okay.
San Diego State. I was
Gotta be so fun there.
wanted to go to UCLA and was supposed to get in for track, and then I kind of got so into snowboarding that I was like, I don't want to do track anymore, and that was the end of my UCLA dreams. So I went to San Diego State, just as good of an education, not at all. But I met these like 3 girls in the dorms that like really were just they just encouraged me. They were like, you're funny, like you're the funny one, and they like I don't think my high school friends were all kind of funny and didn't really, you know, we were just all like, you know, we're all pretty, you know, we laughed together. But the girls I met in college were like, I don't know, they were just all so encouraging, and they were like, you're really funny,
Yeah.
and like they, you know, they would always, I used to rap a lot in high school, and like wrote this rap with my friend, and then like some of the first like frat parties of the year, I would get up on stage and I would like perform the raps.
Oh my God.
And San Diego State was kind of like bitchy in the sense where like, I mean, there were so many hot girls that when they're all in sororities, and all the guys are like, you know, would like court them, and
Oh,
they'd
I'm
be like,
sure. I can
these
only
are the girls
picture.
we hang out with. We're the frat guys. These are the sorority girls. And I joined a sorority for like a week, and then I was like, I can't do this,
I
and
couldn't
I can't
picture you
pay
being
for
a
this.
sorority
And
girl.
it just, yeah, did not, and I wanted to do snowboard team, and it was just all like too expensive as is, and so I left. But after I like rapped a few times, they would let me into their parties. They started calling me, all the frat guys would call me Snowflake. That was like my rap name.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Um,
Why is this not a character you use now?
well, it kind of turned into Lil Pickles.
Little Pickles, yeah.
But I just, yeah, I don't. So there was that, and then I was kind of started. My parents were very much like, we're paying for your school. You have to study like business. You know, you're going to be a businesswoman. You're going to
Yeah.
do something in business. That's like what our family. That's what we
Everybody
do.
does,
That's what we
yeah.
do here. You
Yeah.
know. And so, you know, I started taking a bunch of elective like theater and film classes, and then filming stuff for like the campus movie festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like writing jokes, and yeah, and that's when it all, and took some improv too, and then yeah. But everyone, I just got really lucky when I went to college. Like this crew that I met, they were
They really embraced
such
your-
an integral part of like how I turned into like, I don't know what I, yeah, would soon
Yeah.
be my
It's
career.
cool
I don't
though.
know,
I mean, I
yeah.
feel like college was like that for me in a way too, and probably because once you get there, you can start fresh a little.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's not that upbringing of like, oh, we thought you were going to do this. It's like
Yeah.
a fresh slate of people that just embrace you for who you are.
Yeah.
Which I felt was a really cool thing, because I didn't really start embracing the fact publicly that I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a performer until I got to college. Once I got there, I was like, oh, well, now I can change what I wanted to do my whole life.
Yeah.
because-
Chains are off.
Yeah, exactly.
We're good. Yeah.
So when did you decide you were going to move to LA? Did you graduate?
Yeah. I did.
You did with a business degree?
Yeah. And then I had a minor in film.
Yeah.
I graduated in 2013, and I just moved straight to LA. And at the time too, my parents were also like, I put a video up, like one of the first jokes I did was like about giving roadhead. And it was like, I was really dirty when I started. And
Me too.
it's just like, yeah, this is fun. This is everything I want to talk about. This is everything that's in my
Come,
head.
just come and sex.
Yeah.
Dicks.
I was talking about like more so like embarrassing sex stories, I think, and not so empowered. My parents like found the video online, and they called me like crying, and they were like, "How could you do this to us?" I think people back home would like talk about it, and they're like, "She's doing stand up, like let's send it to her parents." And like, I always felt really guilty because they were paying for my college, and it really made me feel like stand up was an evil thing. because
Yeah.
they've always been like supportive and like, you know, our whole family's pretty close. And when that happened, I had such a bad taste in my mouth about stand up. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to buckle down, finish school, you know, take some improv, take some theater. And then once I graduate and I can get a full-time job, I won't feel like they're
That you failed them.
yeah, and I didn't want to drop out of college. I was like, you know, I can finish this. It's easy and like do some stand up and just not say anything,
And not film
post
it.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I moved to LA and lived on a friend's couch for a month and well, maybe 2 months.
When did you move in 2013?
Yep, moved
Yeah.
up summer right after college, and my sister's like best friend happened to live in LA, like in Brentwood, and she let me live on her couch. She was a nighttime. She worked at night. She was a nurse, so I could sleep in her bed at night, and then she'd come home at like 7 in the morning. What was the question? What the fuck am I saying? Yes. So I moved to LA and like yeah, just did everything I could to like get a 9 to 5, so I could do stand up at night. I was like,
Fuck,
I just need
couldn't picture you being in that world whatsoever.
I just felt like I had no choice. I literally was like, this is the only way to survive or at all.
Yeah.
That was like, I was under that impression. I was like, I have to get a 9 to 5 somewhere. Like, I was like, bartending's not an option. Nothing else is an option or a means of like survival. That was just, I was, I don't know. Probably just an idiot. Cause yeah.
Well, because you'd been trained to do that. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know what else to do.
Yeah, and I hadn't been in LA long enough to know that like a lot of people that do this are like servers or bartenders, and then they do their thing. And I'm really glad that I didn't do that because I probably would have gone too crazy, you know, or like gotten into that
Into
lifestyle.
that world,
And
it is its own world, for
it's
sure.
its own world, yeah. And I think I lucked out, and I worked for Full Screen, which they produce
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
now, but I had like yeah, I would upload like Jimmy Fallon's YouTube videos, and it was yeah, we would work from like 9 a.m. till like very late many nights because it was a startup at the time.
Right.
And they were like,
Oh, I didn't know you worked for Full Screen.
Yeah.
What an interesting parlay, though, into what you actually end up doing.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah,
like,
it
of
was
all
kinda
places
weird, but
you
it
could get a job at.
I know, but it was like one of those things where it was like I'm an employee, not a creator, not talent, not anything.
Right.
Along those lines. So it was like having to be very professional, and then like could not wait to leave every day and go do stand up. And I think the pain of having that job and like I worked so hard because I would have to be glued to a desk every day, and I was
Right.
you know, had to be up every morning and have brain working and not, you know, fucking around and like, you know. So yeah, and actually, yeah, we would see Mel Brooks like all the time. He would just come to, because we worked on the Culver Studios lot.
Yeah.
And I was always too scared to say hi. And then the day I quit and I was like walking out with my box of trinkets, Mel was walking out to his car and I was like, Mel, we like took a picture and I was like, I just quit my job. I'm gonna like do stand up. I had just gotten like a writing gig on a thing with Nikki Glazer, and I like left my full-time job for a 3-week-long job. I was like, this is it. I'm in entertainment
Yep.
now. I'm doing it, ma. And I talked to Mel and he's like, do you got an agent? You gotta have an agent. And I was like, can I have yours? Like, I had a manager that was like hip pocketing me at the time, but I was like, nope.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was after I left that job. It was just kind of like, oh, do whatever to make it work, and
Yeah.
did stuff
And the
with-
hustle begins.
It sure does. Yes, good Lord, it does.
How's the paper chase going overall?
Paper chase is going great. You know, I live to chase the paper. Live, laugh, love, breathe. Paper.
I love that. You're like the DJ Khaled of paper chasing.
Always got to be stacking that
Oh,
guacamole.
man,
Got to get
that's
your
what's
stocks
up.
and investments right. You know, got to save. Got to live within our means. It's going good though. It's been a really fun year, and I just feel like the more I've leaned into my character stuff, and like everything seems to be going the way it should.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for that, because everything I do is always like, I think things are so funny that start in like voices, and so you know, when I first moved to LA, voiceover something that I was like, I really want to like pursue this, and worked really hard at it, because most characters that I do start with a voice, and I'll like start doing something in a mirror and be like, maybe this is funny, you know, or it's like a
Yeah.
little twitch or something, and then
Oh yeah, the video you did the other day. Is that a character you're doing yet?
which one?
The one.
The Long Island.
Yes. Fuck.
That one pops out every time I have heavy lipstick on. I'll work on it. Do you think it has legs there?
I do think it has legs.
Okay.
I was dying. So there's sometimes I'll catch, you know, because a lot of times in stories you just kind of click through and stuff. And,
Yeah.
But whenever you have like a good character up like that, I'll like end up watching it 6 times, and I'll finally message you and be
my
like,
God.
I'm stalker watching this person. It's so funny.
Dude, thank you. Well, someone just sent me a box of meat to like do a to do like an Instagram post for.
Yes. A box of meat.
Butcher Box, yeah. They sent me all these like steaks and pork chops and stuff, and yeah, and so I had to do an Instagram post, and and that's where she came from. I was
Oh,
like, this
fuck
type
yeah.
of person could be hawking meat.
Yeah, 100%. That was one of the first jobs I was offered when I moved to LA from
A meat?
comics. It was Josh Nasser and somebody else's business. They sold steaks
Oh my god,
door to door. And when I moved
I
here,
forgot about that.
Yeah,
And
and
how
when I
many
moved
jobs? How many crazy jobs has Josh Nasser had?
oh my God, the
So funny.
most. It's so funny. But yeah, when I first moved here, because I had come from Chicago and I was already starting to make pretty good money doing stand up in Chicago. And I thought it would be that easy in LA.
Yeah.
And after the first month, I was like, oh, fuck. What am I going to do? And then
Yeah.
I hit up Josh and he's like, you can come sling steaks. And I was like,
Oh my
yes.
God. So you did it?
I never did it. No.
Oh.
No, I ended up getting a bartending job. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I almost did.
Dude.
I can't even imagine what kind of interesting people I would have met on that job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sales is tough.
Sales is tough,
Even
period.
just like making these Instagram videos, I'm like, I feel like a sellout.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like I'm always just pushing so many tickets on people all the time for stuff. And I'm like, well, you know what? This
they
is
love
my
you.
art.
Yeah.
So I don't mind doing it.
Yeah,
And they're getting
they're
something
dying to come
awesome out
see
of
you.
it.
Yeah.
So anyway, what do you have coming up that you're excited about?
What do I
This will be out a week from tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm June 21st, 22nd. I'm going to be headlining Philadelphia at a Helium Comedy Club.
Yes.
Very excited.
Helium's supposed to be very fun.
I love Helium. Is
I
the
have
first
not
club that
played
ever
it.
headlined me in Portland. It was like my hometown. It was so cool. So I love Helium. It's a beautiful club. So if you're in Philly, please come out. And then the weekend after that, I'll be in DC the 28th, 29th at the DC Comedy Loft.
Oh, nice.
And if you're gonna be at Comic-Con, if anybody hears this, come say hi. I'll be dressed as a young boy, Alan Gingrich. I'm hosting for Comedy Central, so I'm super
Awesome.
excited. So if you're at Comic-Con,
yeah.
come say what up to Alan Gingrich. Yeah!
Do it. And where can everybody find you?
The worst social media ever. It's all different. Find me on Instagram at Becky Robinson 4, Twitter at Becky R Robinson, and YouTube at the Becky Channel.
Why was Becky Robinson just taken, and that's why you
Yeah.
had to? Yeah,
Just late
it's
to
a
the
tough
punch.
name. That's a
Yeah.
tough name.
I blew it.
And you can find me at NPH Comedy. You can follow the podcast at Future Role Model or at Role Model Pod on Twitter. Tickets to any of my shit coming up are www.nphcomedy.com/TIX because the word tickets is just too difficult for people to spell. And
Them ticks.
closing remarks?
Live, laugh, love. If you want to have a cookie, have a cookie.
Have a fucking cookie.
And on behalf of all of us here at the Olive Garden, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.